Because stats, it's variable depending on who you're fighting. Like you take Charles Oliveira's stats, and then you say his fight with Islam Makhachev, and you say, okay, well, where's the stats? Like it's really dependent upon skill sets, who's your level of competition, who you're competing with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I would be really interested to see. I mean, the best guy off his back, arguably in the lightweight division, is Oliveira, and Oliveira really couldn't do anything with Islam. I mean, he gave, some difficulties. He got into the second round. It was work, but he didn't really threaten, where he threatens everybody off his back. That's the thing about Oliveira, is like, he'll catch you on the feet and he'll trade with you on the feet, because if you drop him, he gladly goes to his back to invite you into his guard.
Yeah.
But Bones broke it down.
It's like a front choke, almost like a squeeze to your chest. It's not an angle that you use for a normal Darce choke.
I know. I was shocked the first time I saw him do it. I was like, maybe he just couldn't cinch up the bicep. And then I saw him do it a second time. I was like, no, this guy's trying to do it that way. He grabs right here, right?
Yeah.
And Craig Jones did an awesome
chest.
breakdown of it on YouTube, where he explains why it's effective and what's so good about it.
And
It's tough. That is a tough one. Honestly, I feel like it's gonna kind of be he's never really fought a guy that tall and that weird. Ooh, that's tough. I have a feeling Islam's gonna win, but it'll be in the later rounds, kind of like what he did with Dustin. After he gets in close, I think he secures the takedown. I know Ian's grappling is top tier, but I just don't think he can handle Islam, because everyone said the same thing when Islam went against Charles, and Islam just put him away, made his ground look like nothing. So I'm like, I can never doubt Islam ever again, So I'm gonna take Islam for this one.
Really easy work for him. But I'm telling you something, Islam is working so hard. I never see him working as hard, and he got a lot better than last time I saw him. And he's very motivated. And I think he's fighting a guy who runs a lot. Islam have to punch him in the chest, take him down, pass his guard, mount him, and finish him. That's what's gonna happen. But he's gonna run. He's not an easy opponent, a puzzle to figure out. But I just think, I don't know, man. These guys say a lot of crazy shit. He'd say he's gonna bounce his head on the wall. He's gonna finish him after 4 rounds. This dude talking about finishing people. This guy lost 11 fights. He have 9 decisions. Islam lost 11 fights, have 8 finishes. This guy, the only thing he finishes.
Garry's gonna stand up. I think Ian Garry's pretty hard to take down. You do have the question, and I know you guys think there isn't one, but there is. And that is, who is the better striker? I know in theory. I know that you believe. I know if I was to tell you there's going to be no takedowns in this fight, I don't know anything else. I've got this crystal ball. The crystal only gave me one clue, is that there would be no takedowns. A lot of you would go, yes, Ian's going to kill him. Are you sure? Islam has been put in positions where he could have taken the guy down, but he didn't need to. He won those moments on the feet. But he was in some exchanges, and if you are talking about a likelihood and you're talking what Islam's preference would be, his preference would be on the ground on top. So if he is a principal in this very scenario, is saying, I'd like to be in the ground and on top, he is also saying, I don't want to be on my feet with this guy. So Islam has some kind of a respect toward Ian.
Yeah, a lot of those guys before Islam were afraid to go to the ground with him. Like Gaethje dropped him a couple of times, Chandler dropped him, and then they stood up because you had that fear. With Islam, it was like, I don't care, he's gonna feel what it is on the ground. Like they always say, Sambo is better than jiu-jitsu. And he just has that mentality, like, I want to beat you at your own game. And the way he tapped him out from half guard with that arm triangle, I'm like, nobody's ever treated Oliveira like that.
But that squeeze must be another level.
Yeah, I would roll with him, and that first week, he's catching me with like an anaconda choke every time I'm going with him, and it's just squeezing. I'm like tapping, and then Islam's nice, so like he'll tell you like, you need to do it this way, and he'll show me the technique with it. When Khabib's on top of you, he's like breaking me at every single point, and I'm asking him for it to, no, brother, you just got to keep going. And I was like, all right, cool. So the next time he does it, he's just on top of me again. He's like mounting me, then I'm turning, giving him my back, and then he's like just laughing as he's talking to the guys outside of the cage as he's on top of me, and I'm feeling like disrespected, but it's like, this is the Khabib. But like, at least like Islam, he'll be like brother, do this way, do this. This is the way you get out of it.
He's
so
giving you some tips.
Yeah, so by the third week, he wasn't catching me with any more, but this squeeze is a different type of squeeze.
They have a very, very disciplined camp, right? Like you have to have your hair cut a certain way. Like you can't be fucking around showing up with blue mohawks or nothing crazy. Like it's very disciplined, right?
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why they're all successful.
Makhachev has the grappling advantage in this fight against Ian Garry.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and tick my check mark in that box as well.
Yeah, I mean, Bilal Muhammad is not near what Islam Makhachev is on the cage or on the ground, and he was able to have success at trapping Ian up against the cage. And everybody knows that fights start on the feet, but the cage is also a very useful tool to get somebody dragged down to the ground, and Islam's team does it better than anybody else. They kind of wrote the blueprint for how to use the cage as an apparatus within the arena and have success. All of the chaining, we call it chain wrestling, but now it's like chain cage work, right? The wizards to the underhooks to the body locks to dropping down, changing levels, getting to the legs, and finding your way to pull somebody down off the cage. Islam's better than anybody at that, and we saw Bilal Muhammad have some success against Ian Garry multiple times. He was able to trap Ian, and I don't even think Bilal's striking is near as good as Islam. So Islam pushing that pressure will get Ian Garry backed up against the cage. Probably not in the first round or two, because like we said, Ian's so good at lateral movement and staying long and staying away from the danger. But eventually he's going to wind up with his back against the cage, and he's going to have to deal with Islam's body locks.
Contention. Now I tell you that because I feel that I must apply that to Islam. Beating Ian Garry or having the longest run in MMA history don't make you the GOAT. That's not my opinion. If they did, then whoever is currently holding that record that Islam just tied and is trying to beat, you guys would consider the GOAT. So it's not something that you've taken into consideration, or you would have already brought that up, but I will share this with you. If he's doing it at 2 different weight classes, that means something. That means more. It's a very interesting concept, and I don't know that we can say it ahead of the fight. But is there ways that this fight could play out that would then lead us to believe that Islam's the GOAT? Maybe. If Islam was to go out there and dominate, think of what he did with Manny Moicano. It pains me, but I've even got to say Dan Hooker, he caught him in a position, he caught him early, but all the same, if he was to go out and just tie up Ian Garry and make Ian Garry surrender quickly, yeah, boy, that means something. Are we going to go into this fight believing Ian Garry is going to beat Islam? Because it's starting to feel that way. Just a little more and a little more. Charles Oliveira, just to throw a name at you, a guy that knows everybody, has the right to an opinion. He said Ian Garry is going to win. That's interesting. Ian Garry is a stand-up fighter from Ireland who idolizes Conor McGregor. So now we know everything we need to know about Ian Garry. He's a sharpshooter. He's going to use his hands. He's going to use his kicks. He can't do any jiu-jitsu. But then somewhere along the way, he started training with Demian Maia. And it was an interesting coincidence because he ended up on bottom against MVP with his back taken, but was never in trouble. So then we're going to go, okay, great. You had problems grappling with this guy, MVP, who's not a grappler. You got real big problems now because you're going to fight Rakhmonov, who's going to expose everything that you don't know. And it turned out that punching and kicking Irish kid had spent some time in the wrestling room, right? I mean, he just looked better than we knew that he was. Enters the 5-round club, deals with it. And one thing that he had to deal with that night, Ian Garry has never fought where he was not bolstered up and he was the guy.
What was it like for you actually to see Islam Makhachev? Because obviously you and Khabib have worked together now for a while, but having Islam Makhachev a part of that coaching experience with you, that must have made you proud just to see his mentorship and the impact that he has on the fighters in the gym.
Well, he's always had that mentorship, and he's always been with us in the corner when he wasn't fighting. So this is not the first time I've had Islam in the corner with me. No, we've had him numerous other times in the corner with us. Just probably people don't remember, but he's been in the corner with us quite a few times. He's an exceptional corner, and he cares. He's a champion with a heart that cares about his guys. And he did the same thing Khabib did when Khabib used to do sparring, and then he was done with sparring and he knew some of his other brothers would come and spar. Khabib wouldn't go out and train. He'd watch the sparring and give advice. That's Islam, the same thing. Same thing. So they're following the same footprints as each other, and it gives me a lot of joy to see this from these guys because they're giving back for what they got back from their guys. Like what Habib's father gave to Habib, Habib is giving back to his fighters. What I gave back to them, they're giving back to their fighters.
Oh, Makhachev's gonna win. I think it's going to the ground, and something that I stood firm on last year when Islam Makhachev moved up at UFC 322 for his first welterweight fight against JDM, Jack Della Maddalena, for those of you who don't know. People were saying, all right, Makhachev's moving up a whole 15 pounds for a weight class, It's first time up at 170. He's not going to be as big as the other guys. He's going to have trouble wrestling them and holding them down and imposing his will like he was able to do to basically everyone at 155. And I said that was rubbish. That's false. Anyone who's saying that doesn't know what they're talking about. People are saying JDM's going to defend the takedowns like he was able to do against Belal Muhammad, another welterweight champion who was a good wrestler. And then because JDM could do it there, and because Belal was a good wrestler, and JDM's bigger than Makhachev, that JDM could do that to Makhachev and get the win. I told you guys that was false from the start, as everyone on YouTube seemed to be trying to have a crafty pick with JDM here. And I was right, and that's exactly what I think is going to happen here. Everyone's talking about, oh, Ian Garry this, Ian Garry that. He's smart. He's so much bigger. Look at the size and reach advantage, and he's a fast striker. Deny the takedowns. He just beat Belal, who's a good wrestler. Doesn't this all sound oddly similar to the lead up for JDM versus Islam Makhachev? So I'm going to tell you guys the same thing here. I think, yeah, Ian Garry could defend some takedowns, maybe, but it's a 25-minute fight. Islam Makhachev, the best fighter in the world, is going to land those takedowns.
Islam Makhachev vs Ian Garry. Why his grappling looks effortless. Islam's grappling doesn't look dominant because he's stronger. It looks dominant because he's efficient. Every takedown, every positional adjustment, every hold, he spends practically no wasted energy. Garry will have to defend against all of it, which means Garry gets tired while Islam stays fresh. That's the invisible system that separates elite grapplers from everyone else. Garry is about to learn the difference between defending takedowns and defending against someone who doesn't get gassed while doing them. The first technical advantage most people miss, Islam's choke variation. When he caught Makhachev, when he caught Oliveira, everyone expected a standard Darce. He doesn't do that. He locks on the forearm instead of the bicep. He pulls to his chest instead of using an angle squeeze. The entire defense changes because the pressure vector changes. You can't create space the normal way. You can't get your head positioned right. The squeeze comes from a completely different position. And Craig Jones has documented this, but the point is specific. By the time you realize what's happening, you're already done. Oliveira is arguably the best off-his-back fighter at lightweight. Against Islam, he couldn't do a damn thing. That tells you everything you need to know about where this goes if Islam gets on top. Islam said something revealing during camp. His preference would be on the ground on top. That's a tactical statement. It means when he looks at Garry's skill set, he doesn't want to keep it on the feet. He respects Garry's striking enough that he's actively choosing to avoid it as much as possible. You'll see Islam setting up takedowns with strikes, mixing the workflow, but make no mistake, every punch he throws is designed to set up a level change. Not win a striking exchange. He knows where his edges are. Here's where Garry's only viable path exists, point scoring. He can't chase finishes. He can't trade volume. He has to be disciplined for all 25 minutes, jab, tap, kicks, constant movement, keep himself off the cage wall, never engage in brawls. Sonnen broke it down specifically. If Garry gets taken down, his only job is to stand back up. Repeatedly. He's not hunting submissions from the bottom because that's accepting Islam's strongest position. He's just escaping. If he can do that consistently, he frustrates takedown attempts and potentially wins a decision. But that requires flawless execution because Islam punishes mistakes immediately. The octagon matters here more than people realize. Philadelphia's octagon is larger. That extra real estate helps a fighter who operates through distance management and footwork. Garry can stay on the perimeter longer before Islam closes that gap. Every inch he can maintain is another degree of difficulty for the takedown entry, but that's a marginal advantage. Islam still closes space better than almost anyone in the sport. The question is whether the octagon delays the inevitable or changes the dynamic enough to matter. Islam's camp operates under extreme discipline. Haircut a certain way, no distractions, no ego, everyone grinding the same system. That's not about motivation, that's about mechanical consistency. When you're in a camp like that, your timing on takedowns gets sharper. Your pressure sequencing becomes automatic. Your level changes are refined to precise angles. Garry is fighting an opponent who's been drilling these entries thousands of times under Abdul Malik's instruction. not just someone who's talented at wrestling. What everyone understands but won't say directly, Islam will gradually accumulate damage and pressure, not through spectacular moments, through efficiency. In the early rounds, Garry's footwork and movement should work. He'll score points, frustrate Islam on the feet, but by round 3 or 4, the constant defending, the repeated sprawls, the energy spent escaping, it compounds. Islam gets fresher while Garry gets more depleted. Then the takedowns land more frequently. The position control becomes longer, and eventually Islam either finds a finish or runs the clock out with a grappling masterclass. That's not hype. That's pattern recognition from someone who's done it 6 times already. This is a methodological matchup. Garry's system requires perfection over 5 rounds. Islam's system is designed to be forgiving. He can afford mistakes because his efficiency means he can still impose his will. Efficiency beats athleticism over distance.